Now, in this particular video here, I just want us to have a look at the final submissions made by Cherera 4 yesterday at the Bomas of Kenya National Dialogue Committee, led by Kimani Ichung'wah and Kalonzo Musyoka. From their facial expressions, you will clearly tell that these former IEBC commissioners, Juliana Cherera, Irene Massit, and Francis Wanderi, were very much angry. They were so much bitter. They still disowns the presidential results of the previous 2022 general elections. But when they were asked to provide any proof on why they still disowns the elections, they are not in a position to do that.
On the issue of tally, this is what the Supreme Court says, that the chairperson on his part did not make matters any better by maintaining a stoic silence, even as things appeared to be falling apart. And I asked you a simple question, which I want you to confirm and explain to us, that did you participate in the tally?
Do you have a single incident where a form was verified on the floor, confirmed by party agents to be the results as announced at the polling stations, because the party agents were confirming against their agents' results? They confirm it, you announce, for instance, or Commissioner Ishongo announces. The form goes to Chairman Chebukati for tallying, and from the final tally, or as the tally, because the tallies are there on the portal.
Up to now, we don't know the results, and it's very important that we audit these results. It's very, very important, because when we audit and even made open to everybody, even those people who have been elected and who lost as MPs, and even others, they will know their results, because I want to say this was not tallying, there was not tallying, there was no verification, it was just, it is not, I don't know what to say about it as a commission.
So Francis Wanderi, in his statement, said this: I want to admit that we, Cherera 4, were forced to resign. It was not our desire. Juliana Cherera says that it was bad for me and my family. We have been threatened just because we spoke what we saw. Even today, we stand by our word. We disown the presidential election results. I didn't resign because of myself. I resigned for the sake of the country. Irene Massit says that I am outside the country for our security reasons. I come from Rift Valley, and they say that I betrayed the president. I have never gone home. So let me ask you this very simple question. Do you agree with these statements made by these former IEBC commissioners? Even before we go deeper into the details of this particular video, just in case you're here for the first time, or maybe you're currently watching yet you haven't subscribed, I'm just requesting you to please take a second or two and click to the subscribe button. You can also give this video a thumbs up, because if you do that, YouTube will recommend this video to reach out to others. To my returning subscribers, I really want to appreciate you for your continued support. Also, if you want to automatically receive the notifications updates from YouTube itself immediately I post a video on this channel, just press the notification bell. So kindly allow me to take you a little bit backwards. The former head of state, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, Raila Odinga, and the deep state had actually orchestrated a plan to deliver Raila Odinga's presidency. That plan actually failed. But the move that they made is that they captured the 4 IEBC commissioners, because they knew it all along that they were actually the majority by doing so. I don't want to say that William Ruto captured the former IEBC chairman, Wafula Chebukati, because what I believe is that Ruto won the previous 2022 general elections. Because you cannot tell me that Ruto managed to capture Chebukati. What about the Supreme Court of Kenya? Do you want to tell me that William Ruto also captured the 4 judges at the Supreme Court of Kenya? Of course, that is not possible. So when these 4 IEBC commissioners failed to deliver on their mandate as agreed by the Azimio top leaders, Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta and the deep state, the Azimio La Umoja Alliance actually hosted them at a certain apartment for their safety, Yaya apartment in Kilimani area. So let me just read for you some of the details that emerged. It says that on August 15th, the executive director of Azimio Campaign Secretariat, Rafael Tuju, was booked in as a visitor at the Yaya apartment at around 9:45 p.m. His destination was apartment 23. He left at 10:14 p.m. Also, George Oduor Ongwen, who has been described as the COG in the will of Raila Odinga's ODM party, visited the Yaya apartment 21 on August 16th around 12:50 p.m. to 1:20 p.m. August, from around 12:50 hours to 13:20 hours. Another record says that records also show that the KANU party, one of the constituent parties in Azimio coalition, also had its Secretary General, Nick Salat, also visited Yaya apartment at 10:41 a.m. on August 17th. Salat entered apartment number 21 also and left 8 minutes later. He came back at 4:54 p.m. on the same day and left after 4 minutes. So what kind of strategic plan did these Azimio La Umoja Alliance leaders had to do with this Cherera 4? On the third issue of them claiming that they were being threatened, that is why they fled to exile, I strongly believe that that is not true. I personally believe that William Ruto has got nothing to do with the revenge against these former IEBC commissioners. The reason as to why I'm saying this, Francis Wanderi, who is also one of the IEBC commissioners, is still in the country, up to date, but nothing has happened to him. So Juliana Cherera and Irene Massit fled to exile simply because they were guilty. They felt ashamed of the issues that came out to emerge to the reality. So let me give you some of the reasons as to why I strongly believe also that Raila Odinga had a plan with these IEBC commissioners during their submissions at the Bomas of Kenya, and why that plan actually failed. Because if you took your time to listen to what these former IEBC commissioners spoke about and how they spoke as if they did not participate at all in the tallying process of the previous elections. How can you disown the results, yet you are the ones who signed the forms, who participated in the tallying process, and forwarded those forms to the IEBC chairman of Wafula Chebukati for verification? First of all, their mission yesterday was this: to seek sympathy from Kenyans. But from Kenyans' reaction, you will clearly tell that majority of Kenyans have already moved on because they know the actual truth of what really happened. So their mission to seek sympathy, that they were threatened to exile, that William Ruto had actually and a revenge on them, failed completely. Secondly, they also failed to prove on what they talked about. The same issues that they talked about, they failed to prove at the Supreme Court of Kenya. And finally, when you look at the Bomas of Kenya National Dialogue Committee, the real mission of the National Dialogue Committee is not to point out fingers at one another. It is to talk about the truth and the reconciliation. That is what the NDC actually agreed upon. But whatever these commissioners talked about, it was nothing at all to do with the real agenda of the NDC. So in my considered opinion, they actually in fact cornered Raila Odinga even more, because they talked about issues that they cannot even prove. they are actually guilty, and they basically exposed they worked for the Azimio La Umoja Alliance to deliver Raila Odinga's presidency, but their plan actually failed. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. What can you say about all these issues? What can you say about these IBC commissioners, former IBC commissioners, submissions, whatever they talked about yesterday in the National Dialogue Committee at the Bomas of Kenya? Let me know your thoughts, your views, and your opinions on the comment section down below. Otherwise, I don't have much. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, my name is Jason, but please don't forget to subscribe. Bye-bye.